Well, good morning, everyone, and it is really wonderful again to celebrate this important proclamation, and I'm very happy that we're able to do it in person alongside my fellow council members and leaders in the autism community. Unfortunately, we've seen some rapid changes in social interaction and the daily routine throughout this last year, and we know that that impacts some of our people with differing abilities more than it does others. We know about the impact that it's had on all of us, but understanding that some rely upon that social interaction, that face-to-face, to help with support, as well as to help when it comes to ensuring that we provide just that nurturing is incredibly important, and we've missed that. And so the organizations that are here today are ones that have fought for a more ASD inclusive environment that embodies the spirit of what Montgomery County truly is, what we all care about, which is supporting one another, providing that social interaction, making sure that we can continue to ensure that regardless of a person's abilities, they have opportunities that are bright and limitless. And so Autism Acceptance Month calls on us to evaluate how we can do a better job and make sure we understand and respond to the needs of those who are on the autism spectrum. One step that we can immediately do is to embrace neurodiversity, and that's a term that affirms diversity of the human mind and emphasizes the value of differing thought processes. Keep in mind that just because your mind processes differently doesn't mean that it's wrong. For so long, and my mother worked in the special education space for quite a while, everyone thought that deafness was bad. Celebrating CODA and what's seen there and how people of all differing abilities can be highlighted for their differences. Not, look down upon or feel sorry for a person because they do or process things differently, but understanding that there's a unique value and an intrinsic benefit to having people who go about and think about things differently from others. That actually is what we talk about when we're talking about the fabric of our communities. How we all benefit is by having all these different minds of thought. It is how we embrace diversity from cultural as well as from whether it be mental, cognitive, whatever the case may be. And so I would now like to invite our organizations to offer remarks on their work with individuals experiencing autism, because I think that it's really important for us to make sure we do that. And then we're going to hear from my colleagues who are going to talk about their own personal stories about autism as well. So first I want to invite Melissa Eakin with the Partnership for Extraordinary Minds to speak for a minute about the organization and the program.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Councilman Rice. Thank you so much to the Montgomery County Council for recognizing all of these wonderful organizations before us. My name is Melissa Eakin. I'm the Vice Chair of the Board for Partnership for Extraordinary Minds, based here in Montgomery County. Our organization was founded in the early aughts by parents who were dissatisfied with the educational outcomes of their autistic children. And we've worked since then to work to advance excellent educational outcomes for our children on the autism spectrum. We started out as an organization that tried to provide resources to parents and educators, but have since expanded our mission to really look at what our autistic children need and to follow their lead in providing services. One of our forays into that mission was to partner with a college instructor to offer a advocacy workshop for middle school students so they could learn how to better advocate for themselves in their classrooms to fulfill the goals of their individualized education plans, which is so crucial to the education of special ed students in Montgomery County. We were so pleased to see one student take part, really dig in and learn a lot of the advocacy efforts that he needed to in that session and come back to us and say, hey, I was able to go into my classroom during a test and advocate for accommodations during a test. So a small thing, it seems, in the life of a student, but a very big step for our mission in serving autistic students. So I thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And next, we're going to hear from Jalen Prince and Ron Ward from Madison Fields.
Thank you very much, and thank you to the council and for being so wise and being advanced in the idea of inclusion. This has been a challenging time for Madison House and Madison Fields. We do have two aspects to us. We are a national organization, and we have some very exciting things happening in a pilot program that should impact the rest of the country, including Maryland. But the thing that has been the biggest challenge for us is a 400-acre farm that we have been entrusted with that has been serving with health and wellness, job readiness, and community engagement for individuals, primarily adults with autism. But we don't really cut things off there because we've got younger children working with our therapeutic writing. We have had people from the age of 4 to about 79 writing with us. But during this time of COVID, it has been extremely challenging to make certain that we can keep animals alive, that we can keep buildings taken care of, and primarily to help the people that we serve. And it has increased in need greatly. But we have continued, and we've done some very interesting things, and I am so proud of the people that have worked with our equine portion of this, because when there was this need and there was isolation, we were able to have Zoom calls between the horses and their riders so they could stay connected. And along with that, we had safaris where families could go through in their own pods, in their cars, and the horses had signs in front of their pastures, and people held up signs in their cars, and there was a connection. And we were so glad when we were able to finally get back together. But we have pivoted, and we have turned, and we have learned, and we are here. And the third portion that I mentioned with Madison Fields is community engagement, because it is so important for everybody to be able to have good mental health. And we have enough property that is good for everybody, and we've been also working with first responders. But it gives an opportunity for different populations to work together, to see one another, and to formulate a new normal on a farm property that we hope can be taken back into the community where there's greater understanding and people have developed relationships and friendships. And we thank you very much for recognizing the things that have been going on, especially this month. And we do have Autism After 21 Day, which we've had declared nationally, that Madison House is a sponsor of, because the issues facing adults, it's a huge, huge challenge because very few services. There are some good things, but there's not enough. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That actually just reminded me of the Grammys for, well, yeah, because not the Academy Awards, the Grammys. Because be very clear about which one. Let me turn to County Community Resources and Jen Lynn, Maureen Hanson, and Rachel Chung.
Let me introduce two of my fabulous bosses, Maureen Hanson and Rachel Chung. I'm very blessed to have an amazing board of directors. Trying to think of just one story to share with you today was super hard. During COVID, of course, that's the theme today. I would get calls from parents where my child just forgot the alphabet. Adult child, we're talking 20-some-year-old. They regress very, very quickly without practice and repeat. So that kind of brought us to the realization, wow, we're forgetting how to read, we're forgetting how to count. We need interaction. So we were able to pivot our works program, which is typically a job training program that happens in groups in the community, access to a lot of people, to a one-to-one training program. And we currently have 15 folks in that program that are doing intensive work. Some of them are reviewing their counting. Some of them are reviewing math. Some of them are remembering how to fold and try to read again. It is super difficult. We have amazing staff. All of our teachers are master's level educators, and we're very, very blessed. So there were 2 cases in there where they have been able to overcome their fear and anxiety and depression just with the repeated interaction with the teacher in real life, sitting way down here, what's this on the card? We really had to make it work, and thank you for some of the area churches that have given us space to use where we're only allowed 2 people in a space. My other really super exciting thing is that our rock band, when they were you all know our rock band. I think Sydney and Will partied with us one time with their ears like this. Yes, a traumatic memory, yeah. But our rock band, they're super social, and they were just going crazy in the house. So they actually wrote their own song. the lyrics to their own song, the music to their own song, and then now that they're free to practice, they have recorded a video of their own song and made a beautiful music video. And if you don't know it, it's on our YouTube page because one of our artists did the whole video with his dad and put all these beautiful graphics and art over it. It's wonderful. And then, of course, our social programs and partnerships. We're back. We've been back. So, and come to the walk on June 25th. I have to. Jolene started it. And thank you to the council for your continued support. You guys are wonderful. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
And last but certainly not least on my list, and then we'll hear from some of my colleagues who will be introducing some of our other invited organizations, is Lee Oppenheim with Ivy Mount School.
Thank you. I'm short, sorry. Thank you for inviting us. Thank you for having us share this wonderful time. I am Lee Oppenheim, the Director of Finance and Operations at Ivy Mount School. Joining me today is Lenny Gladstone, who's not only our admissions coordinator, but she's also a former Ivy Mount parent. We're so honored to be included with so many of our community partners. Ivy Mount has been serving the special needs community for over 6 decades. National Autism Acceptance Month gives voice to what we at Ivy Mount practice each day, celebrating diversity by appreciating the differences and unique strengths of all of our members of the autism community. We believe brain differences and a range of cognitive styles enrich our community, and we continue to advocate for a world that supports acceptance, inclusion, and equality.
One little success story. Our society's job actually is to make room for all individuals so they can lead meaningful lives. My son Scott is a 35-year-old young man who has a successful photo scanning business. With the help of Ivy Mount as a young child, Montgomery County Public Schools during his formative years, and SEEK, his adult service provider, we've looked at all his strengths and accommodated his challenges so that he can be a participating member of society. He's benefited greatly from all of the supports that all of these organizations have provided, and society is going to benefit from his contributions.
Well, thank you so much, Councilmember Rice, and it's an honor to join my colleagues, and it's especially an honor to join these incredible representatives from organizations that build bridges in our community, that provide such tremendous support, both for the participants, but by extension, their families. We know that this work is critically important, and we also know the importance of early detection, diagnosis, and treatment of autism, which is something that we collectively as a community and from a policy perspective have to push forward. We also want to make sure that we are a sensory-friendly community in every way imaginable. Montgomery County is committed to this work, this council in particular, and it has been such an honor and privilege over the last 20 years in county government, and hopefully many more, working with this incredibly important community and this ecosystem of organizations that are making a difference every day. Thank you.
Well, thank you. It's truly my honor to be here as well and to join all of these wonderful organizations and my colleagues. You know, as has been noted several times, autism touches all of us. And in 2021, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention determined approximately 1 in 44 children are diagnosed with autism spectrum disorders. And each year, 70,000 children with autism become adults with autism. In the next decade, an estimated 1 million teens with autism will enter adulthood and age out of school-based autism services. It's important, it is necessary to serve and support individuals with autism and their families across the lifespan. And of course, we're also uplifted to see so many groups working together to get us where we need to be. And because of that, I'm very pleased to be able to be introducing a Montgomery County Police Officer, Laura Reyes, of the Autism, Intellectual and Development Disabilities and Alzheimer's Dementia Outreach Unit, And I can tell you, all of the families know her, and we are so very proud of her. Laura, please come up and say a few words.
Thank you. So before I even started, I want to say thank you to Councilmember Katz for always being there for the program. So I did bring you a little gift. Sorry. Hold on. I just from the beginning, he's just truly been there for me.
That's right. Thank you. And I'll let them know that they can look at it.
I know. Right. Way to start. So here's the thing. As I'm thinking about what I wanted to say today, it's really more when this program began in 2004, it was all about the autism awareness. Autism awareness was the phrase. This is what's happened. It's autism action that what we do. It's autism action. Awareness we're like awareness on steroids in Montgomery County. Okay? So here's what it is. The autism action through education of our officers, the community, caregivers, individuals. We're in the schools working with individuals who have autism. That's action. Action through follow-up. Me and other officers going to a home after someone lost their child, or their child was in crisis, or their adult was in crisis. Autism action is looking at a caregiver and saying, we are here for you. Montgomery County Police is here for you. Autism action through empowerment. Our young man, Harrison, who has autism, that's navigating this world as a 6'3" huge guy who has autism. Autism action is telling Harrison, come talk to our recruits. Tell us what it's like to navigate this world while having autism. Not Officer Lori Reyes talking about it, but Harrison. Or Harrison now working with me and the Department of Justice, giving a voice, his voice. Autism action is having a class for those who have autism that are driving. And us as police officers saying, this is how you have a safe traffic stop. This is how you have a safe interaction when you're driving. That is autism action. And last but not least, autism action is in response. Our incredible police officers who day in and day out, 3 times just this weekend alone, having interactions with individuals who have autism that were in very unsafe situations. Autism action in response. Our officers do a tremendous job day in and day out. That's autism action. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Officer Reyes. That was awesome, and thank you to everybody here. This is an important recognition, and I'm glad we're doing it in person. Councilmember Katz mentioned some of the stats about autism generally, but we know also in Montgomery County, 1 in 10 of every families are dealing with some sort of intellectual disability or developmental disability. 10% of our population at a minimum. It's probably a low number. And I often talk about in this context, Michelle and I have 4 beautiful children. Our middle daughter, Addison, who's 9 in the 4th grade in MCPS, is autistic, and she's on the spectrum. And I asked her this morning, I said, well, honey, what do you want me to say about what you deal with every day? And she said, Daddy, just tell them that we think about people all the time. Boy, don't we need that? To think about people all the time. And it was just so profound because they enter the world, not just Addison, but all of our children, all of our adults dealing with autism and that are neurodiverse, and they just try to navigate, and they think they have great empathy. They think about people, how to help them. They worry. It creates great anxiety. Part of our job is to try to help them calm down and deal with it. It's not a big deal. MCPS is a great curriculum. Is it a small deal? Is it a middle deal? Is it a big deal? It's a small deal, right? The folks behind me know. And those are skills that we all could use, especially right now. So in honor of Addison and all of our children and adults who are entering this world, trying to live their best lives, let's take Addison's advice today and think about people all the time. I'd like to introduce, thank you. I'd like to introduce our last speaker, Chris Banks, who's the president and CEO of the Autism Society of America, could not be here today, but he sends his regrets. But we have, last but certainly not least, Mady Tanum Carney, who's Integrated Living Opportunities, to give her reflection about her work. Mady?
Thank you. I want to thank you all for honoring me and everybody else here for the amazing work that we all are doing. I am quite humbled by this honor. We have worked so hard. We all work very hard. So my name is Mady Tanum Carney. I'm the founder and executive director and board member for Integrated Living Opportunities, where we help individuals with developmental and intellectual disabilities transition to independent living. I founded ILO in 2014. We have 37 families, 8 of them in DC and the rest in Montgomery County. 27 of our self-advocates are living independently in different pods. Pods is geographical location. We have 8 in Gaithersburg, 3 in Germantown, 9 in Bethesda, about 9 in Rockville, and 8, as I shared, in DC. The 8 in Gaithersburg all have autism, and they live together at the crossings, and Councilmember Katz and Councilmember Rice have visited us, and it's been an amazing experience for these young men. We have a staff person called the community builder who creates peer-to-peer relationship between the individuals in each of the pods. It took 4 months for Sharita Mason, who is now director of programming, to get these young men to recognize that they were going to be living together. They're basically, most of them are still there living together. And she was able to step away, and they go to each other's apartments and watch video games. Our community builder does meals with them in their apartments. It's an amazing success story in general with the crossings in Gaithersburg. And that is our goal, is in each of these pods to find developers and find real estate where we can congregate in small groups like this so that they can be together, whether it's a 199 unit building at the crossings. There's only 8 of them, so we're totally included and integrated in other pods like this. So we are honored to be recognized. We are really filling a niche for families that their children are too high functioning, for lack of better words, to be on the waiver, but they still have autism or other type of disabilities or abilities that they need help. And we are able to bring them into ILO and to support them so they are included in the community and able to be successful in activities and learning life skills with our life coaches in their independent living situation. So again, I am really honored to be here. It's a lot of work. We do a lot of work, and we all do a lot of work. So it's from the heart. So I thank everybody here. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mady. And let me just jump on that theme as we read the proclamation just very quickly. I just want to say, for anybody who is watching at home, who has not availed themselves of the great services and the great people and the great minds that you just heard from today, who has a child with differing abilities and you're not sure where to turn, please know that there is help and support for you. We care about you. We care about your family. We want to make sure that every person has an opportunity to live the great life that is promised to all of us by being a part of this great community that is Montgomery County. So, with that, whereas autism spectrum disorder, or autism, is a spectrum of developmental conditions characterized by differing learning abilities, social communication challenges, and repetitive behaviors and patterns of thought, and
whereas 1 in 44 children are diagnosed with autism in the United States, highlighting the need to inform parents and the broader community about the importance of an early diagnosis to provide necessary social and academic support for children to attain their full potential. And
Whereas Montgomery County's advocacy organizations and support programs have worked tirelessly to assist individuals experiencing ASD and their families with medical, financial, and emotional resources to overcome daily challenges and pursue a fulfilling lives. And
whereas autism may come with a unique set of challenges, but does not erase the rights of individuals to feel valued, accepted, and confident in their ability to achieve success in their endeavors, given their intelligence, creativity, and endless determination. And
whereas a community that is understanding and accepting of autism spectrum disorder values unique qualities and gifts that individuals experiencing autism can contribute in a work or school environment as well as in daily life. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland hereby proclaims April 2022 as Autism Acceptance Month, presented this 5th day in August of April. Jeez. COVID. 5th day of April in the year 2022, signed by us and our council president. Thank you all for all of your terrific work.